We will soon turn the page to a new astronomical season with autumn officially arriving on Monday, which means it's time to check in with our resident astronomer, Dr. Chris Palma from the Penn State Department of Astronomy and Astrophysics. Welcome back to Weather World, Chris.
Thank you.
So I have to start with just last week, another one of those provocative headlines. Let me read it. NASA discovers clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars. Made me want to keep reading. What's your take?
Yeah. We've said stuff like this before, right? But anytime they say provocative evidence, there's provocative headlines, we have to be a little careful about how much we say, is it really, have they detected life? And the answer is no. They've detected minerals in the soil that on Earth, when we see those same minerals, we know that they arose from the interaction between water and microbes in the soil. Okay. So is that evidence that there was life there? It's very, very good evidence, but it's indirect. And so I'm pretty well convinced, but I'm still a little bit skeptical.
Okay. And sticking with Mars, I understand that the Perseverance rover collected samples from the surface, put some of those samples in test tubes, and those test tubes are awaiting pickup and transport back to Earth for a more detailed analysis. But now there may be a snag. So what's the story there?
Yeah. You've probably all heard with NASA, all of these very, very ambitious things are expensive, right? And so we don't know going in how expensive they are. We do our best to estimate a budget. It's over budget. And so anytime something at NASA goes over budget, you have to do that pro and con. Do we keep spending? And most people would agree yes, but right now with the funding environment for NASA, the answer is no. We're probably not going to recover those samples unless something changes.
And I mean, just thinking about the logistics there, that would be pretty complicated. Sending a probe to Mars, it has to pick up.
It has to, we will have to build a rocket that can launch with no humans there to launch it.
Got it. Many folks probably know that the closest star to Earth, other than our own sun, is called Alpha Centauri. It's 25 trillion miles away, 4 light years. And I saw that a possible planet has been detected around it. What makes that different than all the other exoplanets that have been discovered?
I mean, it's like we've been talking about, a lot of astronomy is indirect detection, right? So we've talked before, a planet pulls on the star, so you don't see the planet, you see the star wobble, and you infer that there's a planet there. I've heard the idea of searching for planets compared to, imagine a firefly lands on a lighthouse. Could you see the blinking of the firefly in that whopping beam? So what we've tried to do is build instruments that can block the light from a star so you can see the very faint planet, and that's what the James Webb Space Telescope did.
Okay. So this planet has actually been seen directly as opposed to indirectly.
Yes, but it has been seen directly in one image, and they've tried multiple times and have not been able to see it in other images, which means it's probably too close to the star for us to see again.
But the key here is, given how close, relatively speaking, Alpha Centauri is to Earth, it makes the possibility of that direct detection higher.
Yes.
And I know you're excited about new technologies. It seems like every year there's some new telescope goes online. This time it's on a mountaintop in Chile. It's called the Vera Rubin Observatory, and it's caused quite a buzz with some of the things it found on its very first day.
Yeah, this is great. So typically astronomy is done, you take a picture and you have that picture, and we rarely get the opportunity to observe things over and over and over again. The Vera Rubin Observatory is going to take images of the entire sky over every 3 nights. So we're going to be able to see things change, and that helps us find moving things. In the very first days of Rubin's operation, it found 2,100 new solar system objects, brand new, never known before. And so the prediction is, over the next few years, it's going to find millions of new asteroids and objects out beyond Pluto. So if you add all of human history, all the asteroids we've ever found, we're going to double that just in the next few years.
And there's a safety component to this too, because some of these near-Earth objects are on orbits that could potentially intersect Earth's orbit. And there's also a weather connection here, because this telescope is placed where it is because this is a very dry environment.
Absolutely.
So there's less atmospheric problems.
Yes.
Your department has been a partner in another astronomical project called, it's LIGO, right?
LIGO,
L-I-G-O, which 10 years ago was the first to detect these so-called gravitational waves. Can you talk about how that discovery has transformed our knowledge of the universe in these last 10 years?
Yeah, I would say our real theme today is how do astronomers do what we do, right? How do we detect what we detect? And if you think of black holes as objects that don't emit any light, pretty much every method we have for studying black holes requires us to infer they're there indirectly. Gravitational waves show when black holes collide, it causes the universe to basically ring like a bell. And so we have learned more about black holes just in the last 10 years than we had been able to before because of an entirely new way to detect them.
And this LIGO detector, as I understand it, there are 2 of them in the United States, one in Washington, one in Louisiana.
Yes.
And the existence of gravitational waves was predicted a long time ago by some famous guy. Right? Einstein, yeah. So in our remaining time, Chris, what are some things folks might see in the nighttime sky that you think would be pretty interesting?
Yeah, I'm really excited this month for the real reappearance of Saturn. So if you've been observing the sky and you've been looking in the southeast after sunset, you've probably seen a bright thing, and that's Saturn. Saturn is at what we call opposition. Opposite from the sun, which means at the moment it's closest to Earth, making it bigger, brighter, and easier to spot. So I really encourage you, look for Saturn, and as always, if you have a pair of binoculars or a small telescope, please give it a try.
You know, I still remember the first time I saw Saturn through a telescope. I might have been 9 or 10 years old. What a sight to behold.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris Palma, Penn State Department of Astronomy and Astrophysics. Always good to see you, Chris. And we will be back in a moment with more.